Well, we're back, baby. We're back, and it's probably the most important day left in this year. It's going to be Quad Witching Day, the 19th of December, and that means that we got 4 major expirations going on, which I do expect we will see probably a big pivot upon closure today as things do get unraveled, and rolled into the future, which typically does provide the impetus for, you know, some pretty major reversals or breakouts that we have seen in Bitcoin's history. What am I trying to say? I'm trying to say that the resolution of this range is upon us, and it is coming up very soon. I think that we're going to see it probably starting at the beginning of next week, Monday, that is, as we have alluded to throughout past videos. And I do think that things are really shaping up for a certain direction here, same direction that we've been speaking about. But I do want to bring into focus here Pesto's Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index. I'm actually going to be retooling it a bit here on live stream, on video, because I do think that while it's pretty damn good in its base format, I do think that there are some optimizations that we can be making together, and I just want to kind of showcase it in and of itself. Yes, it's not really available in any way, in any like public way as of right now, but we're considering what to do with it in the future. Probably just going to add it to the LTI. But first and foremost, I've been very shrewd myself. I've not acknowledged the people of this community here. I see Nikki Page. Nikki Page, it's been a long time, but good to see you. Good to fucking see you. Shrewd Capital, good to see you as well, man. Holding long and strong until top of the parallel channel of 95,500. Fair enough. You know, I do think that Bitcoin is more or less in the process of putting in a low here, but you know, 95.5, I mean, I think that that's probably a worthy target. I generally think Bitcoin's going to go a little bit higher on this bounce, but the real question is, does this bounce actually confirm a reversal or not? And I still think that Bitcoin is probably not going to do that in this current stance, or at least it's not my first sort of look on this as of right now. And while things can evolve in the future, you know, I would still say on any sort of a bounce that we do get from this region, despite, you know, maybe even getting to $100,000, I personally am going to be having a lot of restraint on this one, and probably going to be looking at offloads in my long-term bags or just trade around them, because I do think that there are some pretty damn strong indications that we will see a general corrective period in 2026, you know, for lower prices. But I think where I still deviate from most people right now with Bitcoin over the long term is I'm not like super bearish. I'm certainly not super bullish here as well, but I don't think that we're going to see like this super nasty bear market that we've seen in the past. Don't think whatever downside move we get is going to be as bad as what many people are kind of forecasting right now. I'm starting to see a lot of like 20, 30, even $40,000 price targets for Bitcoin. I mean, 40, I guess is kind of a little bit more reasonable, I suppose. But still, even then, I think that whatever downside movement that we do get from here in 2026 is probably not going to be as long and as terrible as we have seen in the past. I do think that things are changing in that regard. But still, you know, we're going to have to take it one step at a time. That's just my personal view. At the end of the day, I'm looking at trends here, and right now the trend is, technically speaking, still to the upside. But upon this rally, you know, I do think that we're going to have a bit of an issue if Bitcoin puts in a lower high, let's say below about 107 and a half. I'm going to pin Elsa's message right here. She's busy holding Miss Rosie Poo, who was not being a very good girl last night, barking a lot in the late evening hours. Not fucking good, man. It's starting to dawn upon me that having a dog, having a puppy, it's a lot of fucking work, and unfortunately, they're just gonna do what the fuck they want to do. And Elsa does all the work, as she likes to remind me. She does all the work, but it's her dog. You know, she's supposed to do all the work. That's why the dog loves her and no one else. No one fucking else. Anyways, and there says, sup fresh. You all got your witch hats on. Yeah, we got our witching hats on. It's actually not a witch day. Or actually, let's see. Is it a witch day? I actually haven't been checking on this for the last week or two. So maybe it is a time. But let's see. Is it a moon time? Is it an actual moon time right now? It might be close. Let's see. The last fresh moon, the full moon that we saw was on the 4th of December. So yeah, if we fast forward about 2 weeks from there, yeah, actually today will be the fresh, typically bearish moon. I believe it's called a new moon. I would say that the most recent full moon, which typically is supposed to be a more bullish moon, certainly was not amazing, not amazing nor terrible in and of itself. I mean, shit, this one opened up at what, about $92,000, Bitcoin about $4,000 below that as of right now. Still got, you know, about 7.5 hours left in the day to go, so that can change a little bit. But you know, we're not really seeing the major move to the upside nor a major move to the downside. This one, I believe, is just more or less a nothing moon. Fuck you. It's a fuck you moon. Fuck you moon. and fuck you too, cow, and fuck you too, chicken. Or what is it? Fuck you, whale, and fuck you, dolphin. Yes, that's exactly how it goes. We all know how the real story of World War II went. Yes, indeed, that's right. It was cow and chicken that dropped the bombs, not dolphin and whale. Anyways, Giles DeBosch says 77,000 target, then with the moon. Fair enough. I'm just reading the comments over here. I'm not saying that I agree with that or not agree with that. But we'll get into that soon enough. What's up, Natch Bombs? Good morning to you, man. Good morning to you. And Vahid says, good morning, brother. What's up, man? Wishing you the best Christmas as well, sir, and New Year, and whatever holiday you might be celebrating out there in the world. Look, we can say Merry Christmas, and then is it Happy? Is Hanukkah still going on? I actually don't even know. Kwanzaa, when even is that? Nobody really knows, to be honest. So Happy Kwanzaa at any time of the year. And I don't know. Is there any other people that we've missed as of today? We wouldn't want to be unsafe. We wouldn't want to be inconsiderate. I just saw a crazy thing in fucking England, man. I saw a really crazy thing in England. There was like this guy who sexually assaulted a girl, like a teenage girl. He didn't get any, he got absolutely no repercussions at all, because I think it was said that he was an alcoholic and I don't know, something like this. He was an immigrant, something like this, but like no repercussion. It's actually kind of mind blowing, especially in England, because I saw on the other side, there was a guy who got, I think it was 18 months in prison for a negative post on social media. I believe it was on X. And this guy, his post got a total of 33 views. Now, when I say 33 views, I'm not talking about 3,300 views, not 33,000 views, not 33 million views. I'm talking about literally just the number 33. I don't know, man. No, I just saw this on another streamer's stream who I follow. Pretty interesting, man. Like, hopefully that is incorrect, because that is truly concerning. I mean, that is like truly two-tier sort of system going on right there. But anyways, we're not giving a fuck about that. I don't even know how the hell I'm getting on that topic. We need to get some Magic Internet money over here, because that is what's important. That's what's important. Who gives a fuck about sexual assault? We got some Magic Internet money to be looking at right now. Fuck you. Stop complaining about being touched. We're talking about Bitcoin touching millions and millions. Just one girl. Ha! Who cares about that? We have some real issues to be discovering over here. And Bitcoin, actually, I mean, is very, 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 very close to hitting the first major initial reversal condition that I've been speaking about, which is just trading back above Wednesday's high. And that is a very, very simple one right here. It tried yesterday. It got rejected a few $100 before, sorry, actually about $1,000 before that. In today's rally, it actually has been rejected thus far, but it's a long day left to go, and I don't think that things are going to stand as they have been right now. But it did stop the early morning rally just shy of yesterday's high by about just under $100. Again, if Bitcoin can trade especially above Wednesday's high, but I would even say above yesterday's high at this point, and close above there especially, I would be willing to be calling a reversal for many of the reasons that we're going to discuss in this video today. Anyways. Fair enough. I hope to hear that, Mr. Terry Tees. I hope to hear that, sir. Happy Festivus. Get the pole out of the crawl space. I don't know what the hell that's all about. I think it's a reference to Steinfield. What is it called again? Steinfeld? What's the fucking show called? Elsa, you know it. Oh my God. Can you just tell me? Steinfeld. Is it Steinfeld? Seinfeld. Why am I calling it Steinfeld? Is it Steingold bomb? I don't fucking know. Nikki Page says, I'm in England. Things are wild here. Yeah, so I hear. It's crazy. Everyone I speak to who's British, who's from England, says, don't come here. It's not very good. I keep on wanting to go there. My father was born in England. I have family in England, I guess. I have friends in England. But everyone there says, nah, don't come here. It's bad. It's really bad. So fair enough. I guess we're not going there. Not anytime soon, at least. Anyways, like I said, I did kind of want to, before we actually get into the content of today, go a little bit into my own work this morning, because I was meaning to kind of retool and re-optimize the Pesto Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index over here. Pesto's been pushing a few updates with it, but I want to go into the actual criteria, because I do think that we can probably make this a little bit more appropriate to what we're looking at. It's actually in a pretty good space, though. I'm looking at some of the signals right here. Some of them I like, some of them I don't like. So I do think that some of this should be looked at in a different way. The first thing that stands out to me, of course, is the normalization bars at 104. That's basically 2 years. So I actually want that to be about 1 year. So let's go to 52, because generally Bitcoin does kind of have its sort of emotional cycles within about a year. I actually do notice that, obviously your bear market's traditionally been about a year, but, I just feel like with recency bias, we have to look at things within the context of about a year, maybe even, it might even be less. It might even be more like 3 months, like a quarter. Let's actually see what things would look like if it was a quarter, but I'm already looking at a year right here, and this is starting to look a little bit better to me. I just want to avoid some of these signals. Yeah, this is already significantly better right there, avoiding some of these disastrous signals before the real turnaround. So that's good. But what if I did a quarter? What's a quarter? So we got to do 52 divided by 4, which is, anyone want to tell me? Fuck, man. I feel like a goddamn redact right now. It's about 12. It's about 12 or 13. Let's go to 13 right here. See what that kind of retools things like. Actually, this is actually quite helpful in and of itself. But I do think 52 is probably going to be better for right now, because this is going to be not as sensitive as actually I want it to be, which is kind of a surprise. I wouldn't have expected that. So let's go back to 52 for right now. There we go, 16, 13. So we're all not doing very good with math right now. Premium normalization bars. Yeah, so for this, I actually want 52 as well. So that's going to be the premium futures over spot price. Actually, I think that's probably one of the most unique features of this, or inclusions of this fear and greed index. Let's go to the weights here. Dominance, I want to put that much lower. I want that at like 5%. I don't actually like that much. I think it was at 14 before, so 5, 4, 9. So let's actually add that to OI. So let's put that at 15. Or actually, the premium should be at 15, and let's keep this at 6, I think it was. Or was it 6, or was it... Oh, God, my brain's breaking as well. Yeah, it was 6. What else? What is this? Volume drawed. Oh, this should be very, very high. 41's pretty good. That's already very high. Smoothing. Smoothing, actually, I don't like smoothing on indicators like this. So I'm actually going to put it down to 1, or maybe, can we even do 0? No, 0 is going to be nothing. So just 1. Yeah, 1 and 0 are the same. Does that make more sense or not? Let's see, because I'm concerned about this area right here. So 0 on this. Okay, yeah, it's foregoing that signal. That's what we want. That's good. What about right here? Okay, hold on. Did we see across the upside right here? We did. Let me mark it off. Let's see exactly where that was. Okay, yeah, so that's a signal that I want to avert. So let's go back into this indicator right here. Maybe we do want a little bit of that smoothing. Let's see. Will that get rid of it? It does. Ooh, it does, but it then it enables exactly what I don't want, motherfucker. Okay, so let's go back down to this. That's gonna make a little more sense. I think I'm gonna have to play around with this a little bit later, because I'm gonna get way too in the weeds during a video like this. This is gonna turn into a just pure fucking nerd exercise, and you probably don't give a fuck about that. Well, I can't help myself. All right, I need to get off this damn chart. I can't help myself right now. God damn. Anyways, go check out some traditional marks going on over here. Let's see how they're opening up on the day. Yeah, a bit up. Yeah, so okay, perfect. We actually got the correction that we were looking for in NASDAQ. A little bit higher than where I wanted it. I wanted it closer to about 24.6, 24.5, but that's okay. Higher low is good anywhere among those regions, so that's fine by me. Weekly time frame looking to me like it's pretty solid here actually as well. Just any sort of a closure back above 25.450, and it reclaims that 200 the 5 EMA right there. The red 5 EMA. So for me, that's actually a really, really good signal. That continues to be a long hold. I think SPY futures are just a little bit more obvious right here. This one corrected exactly to the area that we were looking for, and bouncing off of that would be that sort of descending broadening wedge or descending channel, whatever the fuck you want to call it. Either which way, I do look at this as overall bullish, overall good, a beautiful correction, and then bringing it back above last week's open. I think that's a damn clear sign as any that this thing is solidifying itself as another higher low on hidden bullish evidence, on the daily time frame, on a phantom drive, on low volatility. All of these things I think are just debating another move to the upside. We got next week, which is going to be, of course, Santa week. We got the old Santa fucking green dildo rally coming in upon us as well. So ultimately, I think that that SPY futures right now are the more easy chart to analyze and the more confident chart. And I do think that this one wants to retest those highs. I do think that it's probably going to make new highs. I still think 2026 very, very likely, maybe even this year, we might get lucky with that. But I would feel very confident about that in 2026. I mean, this one is rallying into the end of the year at the times that you want. We got less than 2 weeks left to go now. Yeah, just under 2 weeks left to go. And we only got, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 days left in the trading year to go, like real trading days. So I look at this pretty damn good. In fact, if we go to the 8-day time frame, yeah, this thing wants to make new highs. Hidden bullish divergence on that last low. I think that this thing is heading above $7,000 relatively soon. Maybe before end of year, but I would feel very confident early 2026 we're going to see a move like that. And again, you have a very easy invalidation point to be getting, I don't know about bearish, but just looking for a greater correction. If that's just below yesterday's low, I don't think that's what's going to happen, but that would be my condition for that, for an invalidation and some downside pressure. But until then, this thing wants some more up and away. We've gotten another beautiful correction on the monthly time frame to the red 5 EMA. All of these things are conducive to continuation of this rally. I think Nasdaq's even a little bit more technical actually on the monthly here. So maybe that's the time frame I should be looking at, because that did get that corrective low. And then just kind of looking across the board here, most things are probably going to just float green into next week, being that is a holiday week. Everyone's got to feel good at the Christmas dinner table. In fact, we're going to be feeling pretty damn good because we are actually hosting Christmas this year. I don't know how the fuck we're going to do it because my video is, oh no, it's actually okay. I don't know how the fuck we're going to do it because we just moved in. So things are very messy right now, but it's actually going to be pretty fun. Very much looking forward to pool time during Christmas. I like that. We got pool lights, we got pool jets, we got pool heaters. Fuck yeah, man. And a waterfall. Oh, baby. I love it. Got to start inviting people more here too, or here more too. Anyways, let's go like at gold really quickly as well. Then we're getting some Bitcoin action. Gold continuing to do what gold does, and that is go up. We did call that this one is going to continue to break out. That was from Wednesday, the 10th of December. After that higher low was confirmed, all sort of higher low targets, below that were kind of negated. And it's just, hey, look to the North Pole, look to the north side. And this thing is poised for new highs, probably before end of year and continuing into 2026. This is the final push, in my opinion, of this parabolic blow off top. You're now seeing a quarterly disconnect with the red 5 EMA. So while I do think new highs in 2026 are upon us, I would be looking at some point in 2026, Q1 of 2026, for a major high to beget a major pullback and reconnect with that 5 EMA. That probably happens at latest Q2 of 2026. What's it saying? 2025. What I mean is 2026. And maybe even late in the first quarter of 2026 as well. But either which way, yeah, one more push on a parabolic blow off top, then the big pullback to revisit and reconnect with that red 5 EMA. And then perhaps it does continue from there. But yeah, we're probably getting way too far out in the weeds for right now. Ultimately, this has been a pretty impressive rally that's been more or less unabated since, very, very end of 2023. So, nearly 3 years of just straight fucking upside, man. Straight fucking upside in real trap shit. And damn son, where'd you find this? Well, yeah, this one's going to the moon and beyond. But I do think that it is kind of in the last throes of this parabolic blow off top. I mean, this yearly is really fucking intense right here, man. It's really intense. And I do think, maybe Q2, maybe second half of 2026, we're going to see a pretty sizable pullback down to the mid 3000s. Doesn't seem that far away, just because recency bias, like it wasn't that long ago, it was down around those numbers. But yeah, that is a pretty sizable pullback for gold. I do think that we will see something begetting that, maybe in like late 2026. But for right now, this thing still wants new highs. Like I say, and like you probably notice yourself as well, anytime you're in a parabolic blow off top, it's the last few months that really do the majority of those gains. So I think gold is in that posturing right now. It just played out, consolidation for the past month, most of November, but I think it's ready again, man. I think that this thing's ready, and I wouldn't even be surprised to see this thing make new highs this year. In fact, this is strong strong when you want to see things strong, more or less. So yeah, anyways, going over to IBIT, looking basically the same as Bitcoin here. Not as good in the short term compared to Wednesday's high, because that's the big pivot in my opinion on this market right now, but it did take out yesterday's high. Unfortunately, yesterday's high doesn't matter as much. It is Wednesday's high. Wednesday's high, that is giving us the big buys for a potential reversal here that has serious implications for further upside. You know, I would say obviously on IBIT, that's going to be at least 55.5, but probably closer to like 58, 59. And on spot price action, that's going to be, you know, deep 90s, low 100s. I'm still looking at these targets as very much relevant. It's just been a molasses range, been a very snail range, been a very sandpaper range. So ultimately, it's required a lot of patience, but I'm still looking at this area as more likely to bounce than not. Taking a few more sips of this caffeine as we get through this one. But yeah, what's up, Frank? How you doing, man? I see you over there. And Bifkin says, Crown, I asked about Ribbon a couple weeks ago, and it's going great. Can we revisit for potential targets? Yeah, man, I remember we were looking at that one as likely to continue with some upside. We can look a little bit later, man. Actually, I see a lot of people kind of marking off Riven right now. So let's go check it out. I'm curious. Let's see. Has it followed through? Yeah, it has. Yeah. And most importantly, it's well above that 200 simple now. This is a breakout, man. I think that this thing actually is putting in a real reversal here. The monthly time frame is going to see the red and the yellow cross, and I do think that this one does have further space to go. We've already hit that $22 breakout target. So if this one continues, I'm looking for the highs of 2023 to be tested, and that's all the way at 27, 28 region. And on a $22 number, that's a humongous percentage move. I mean, for fuck's sake, that's what, another 30% move? That's crazy. That's fucking absolutely crazy. But you know, this is a real reversal. You got 1, 2, 3, 4 higher lows. You're breaking above those prior highs, so it must be a higher high now. Yeah. Like I said, if you know that's what a reversal signal looks like. That's what a reversal setup looks like, and it's pulling through about as when you would expect. So that's really, really good, man. If you're holding that, congratulations. I'm not, but but hey, congrats to you, man. Don't spend all your money in one fucking place, I guess. But fair enough, man. Fair enough. Frank is done with work until January 6th. Hell yeah, man. January 6th, a holiday for some and also a non-holiday for others. It's always a crazy day, man. Anyways, but it's the bear moon. Yeah, it's going to be a bear moon later tonight. Sometimes they play inverse, man. They can fail, of course. Can you look at silver on the daily and 5-day? I will, just because I'm genuinely curious with sorry, not with Bitcoin, but with gold doing what's gold with gold doing what gold is doing. This one I think is more of a better pick in the short term because it's a follower of gold and it hasn't had the same move as gold, but I do think you kind of will get something similar-esque to that. So, you know, this one pretty fucking good here. It's disconnecting significantly now with that red 5 EMA. So I would be cognizant that while it does have new highs to go in 2026, you're probably looking at a big pullback maybe near the end of Q1. I don't know. I don't think I'd say it's bearish, but you know, just be aware that there's probably gonna be a big pullback there. Other than that, just let it do what it's going to do, man, which is just break out and float to the upside. This looks good. It looks fucking good to me, man. In these cases, you know, the best move is to make no move, assuming you're already holding it. Just let it do what it's going to do. It's going to be obvious when it actually tops out. You're going to see a major reversal formation. But until then, just be patient, man. Just be patient. And honestly, you know, if you're in from much low, if you're in from $40, personally, I don't think it's even that wise to be trading around these positions if it's intended to be a long-term position. Just let it do what it's going to do, man. Just get out of its way. Get out of that moving train's way, man. The bear moon is always right about 51% of the time, says Giles. I think it is. I think the hit rate of the bear moon is actually lower. I know I'm being like a fucking, you know, excuse me, it's actually lower. But it is actually lower, I believe. But the returns when it does hit are pretty good. So I think that's how that sort of strategy stays afloat. But the upside strategy obviously a lot better, just generally speaking. Bryce Pingo says, yeah, I sold a few shares of NVIDIA to get a small position. Of course, I wish I had more. Yeah, it always works out like that, man. When you're in a position that's winning, you didn't put on enough risk. And when you're on a position that's losing, you always put on too much. It's just the nature of the game, my man. It's just the nature of the fucking game. Bryce says, I used to see Rivane's driving. I always read it as Revin, who is one of our coders. He's a great guy, but no, this is the car company, Rivane, driving all over the place in SF. Yeah, sounds like the place for it, but that was expected. But honestly, man, I've been seeing a lot. I was seeing a lot in Florida when we were there, and I see a lot where we're living right now as well. They seem to be quite popular, and they even have like a truck option too. It seems like things are going well for them. So fair enough, glad to see, I guess, some American manufacturer doing decently. Most of them not doing too hot. GM doing pretty hot though, I will say. I did say that I bought it a couple weeks ago. I'm quite happy with that. I'm beholding this one for a while. But I do look at this as a major breakout confirmed on November's closure with that $73, $74 tick. So that's where I bought, and I'm gonna be holding that one for a while. I look at this as a long-term consolidation that's been being resolved. I mean, shit, man, this has been going on for more than 10 years now. So this one should have some power with it. Fundamentally makes a lot of sense as well. I think at some point you're probably going to see this trend line extension here from the price action pivot indicator tested. That's going to be, I mean, at some point it's gonna be about $100. So yeah, once you get around 90, you might as well send it to 100 anyways. That's just how the game goes typically. So fair enough. Great choice with the GMC. I love GMC. I love Giant Mancock and also GMC, baby. Fucking shove it down my throat, man. I bought one GMC car. I'll never buy anything else ever again in my life. No, I don't know about that, but I do very much love it, man. It's great. Great car. Great truck, man. Great fucking truck, man. Yeah, and the Rivian truck aesthetic, I do agree. It's actually pretty cool as well. Much better than the fucking Cybertruck. And look, I love Elon, man, but that Cybertruck, I ain't buying it. I sat in it once. Didn't like it. Didn't like it at all, in fact. I see them in all sorts of crazy colors now, too. But yeah, man, I ended up buying a GMC. I love it, man. I fucking love that truck. I never even had a truck before. I haven't even been driving for like the past 20 years. And then as soon as I sat in that thing, I'm like, this is it. This is it. This is the one. This is the one, man. This is the one. Elsa loves it too, man. She loves it. She loves that fucking giant truck. I've been having good fun with that thing, man. Anyways, let's see. Let's go into some Bitcoin price action here. Whoops, one moment. Okay, just reading in some messages. Let me get my own notes. My notes. Back around here as well. Oh my God. Wait, what? What is this? Hold on. I just got an important email. Wow, we're actually gonna get Google Fiber. I just bought fucking a different fiber. It's actually pretty good, so I don't even think I need Google, to be honest with you. But anyways, let's go over, start off with some daily price action statistics. I think we're a little bit too late on this one. We've already seen the slight pullback that happened from the move, that first move in the morning to 87,260. That was this move, I believe, right? Yeah, that was this move right here. You did get a pullback all the way down to about 86,650 or so. But again, can't be getting too damn greedy with these scalps as of right now. And I do think that with Bitcoin even just trading above Wednesday's high of 90,349 on the index, I do think that we're going to confirm a reversal here. So I would be very, very confident of that. But yeah, if you're looking at the historical price action indicator, I think that play's already been had. We've seen many plays on this one over the past. I mean, we just see it all the time. Yesterday, we saw both sides tested, both sides very much scalpable right there. Today, just a quick scalp on that first test of the upside. I do think that this one is probably going to close above that range today. That's also a generally good signal. But personally, in order for me to call a reversal and be very confident of it, I just want to see a closure above Wednesday's high. If you see that, I feel very, very confident Bitcoin will pull through with that big move that we have been kind of preparing for over these past 2.5 weeks now. If we go over here and check out Pesto's Fear and Greed Index, I just want to again call out the fact that we are in extreme fearful zones right now. And anytime that we see extreme fear coupled with the weekly stochastic oscillator position to the upside, that has produced pretty significant bounces, even within the heart of some really, really nasty bear markets. So I've marked off a lot of the prior ones over here. In fact, hold on, I've missed a few more with my new setup. I might change. I'll probably end up changing these settings again because I just did a very quick optimization look at the beginning of the stream. So there's likely a lot more to do there. But even with these, in a bear market, these have produced some pretty impressive signals. So we do have a signal setup likely occurring in front of our face relatively soon. That is going to be confirmed if Bitcoin finishes today anywhere above on CME 83,520. I think that's rather likely. Of course, it's a long day left to go at 5.5 hours on CME for this weekly's closure. But yeah, anywhere above, again, 83,520, we will have that setup fire off, in which we do see extreme fear coupled with, again, the weekly stochastic also to position to the upside. And that has been a pretty powerful signal in the past, producing big bounces and major higher lows. So if we are bullish, we expect, the next major higher low. And of course, if you are bearish, I'd still be expecting a pretty decent bounce here. When I say pretty decent bounce, I mean, anywhere between 10 to as much as 30, 40%. I do think it's probably going to be closer to maybe like 10, 20, something ish percent like that. But yeah, in the past we have even seen, some pretty significant ones, despite that. So fair enough. But again, keep that number in the back of your mind's eye, because if Bitcoin, again, closes above 83,520 by the end of today, we will see weekly stochastic momentum on CME officially cross the upside alongside extremely fearful reads, which does imply that, yeah, we will see a pretty significant bounce in which I'd expect Bitcoin to get, again, to the very high 90s or very low 100s at least. Something like that. I still do have major skepticism and major reservations with this being a true reversal to new all-time highs. I'm not opposed to it, obviously, but as long as Bitcoin's below about 107.5, I do look at any sort of a bounce that we may get from this region as a bounce into a lower high and potentially continuation lower. So, just be aware of that. As far as my own positions go, I'll continue to show my options positions over here. My options position is still the same. I've not changed it as of right now. I'm going to be holding this one into expiration because of what happened over the last 24 hours, in which Bitcoin is showing some signals of reversing from that low on yesterday. Again, I just want to see it trade above Wednesday's high of 90,350 or so. And yeah, at that point, I do feel quite confident that that this position will, expire without any major issues. We'll get the full profit of 29,300. Again, that full profit of 29,300 is still in our pocket as long as we are above $80,000 Bitcoin price on December 26th. So we just have 1 week to go for now. And generally in a Christmas Santa Claus week, it is going to be a sideways and up week. It's going to be a float to the upside week. It's going to make everyone feel good as we get ready for, Christmas dinner, sitting around the table. Everyone's got a little bit of green on the week and, I don't know, just ready to buy some more presents or some shit like that. I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to do on Christmas, do that, I suppose. But yeah, most importantly, making a little bit of money too. Anyways, like I said, the next position I'm very much looking forward to is selling a call spread on the other side if we get a rally into, let's say, $100,000 or so. Until then, I'm not going to be making any moves. I don't want to force any positions here. I like to look at options as being very, 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 very patient, waiting for those beautiful setups, because when you get them, it's very easy to trade. But when you force setups in the middle of a range, in my experience, it's a lot more pressure than you probably want to deal with. And on top of that, what are you going to do right here? You're going to buy some fucking premium? I don't want to buy premium. I don't like buying premium. I want to be selling premium at, if anything, and buying premium only as a last resort for risk management, or, if I want to do a synthetic position. But other than that, I don't really see the value in buying premium for Bitcoin. I mean, usually it's just dead. Usually it's just dead anyways. You might as well just buy the spot underlying. Anyways, moving on from there. What else do we have? Yeah. So here's also the thing. We have to be thinking, or at least I have to be thinking, in terms of domino effects. We've spoken about several of the other signals over the past week, but one thing that is also coalescing at the same time as of right now is that if Bitcoin does trade above Wednesday's high, which again is 90,350 on the index, or if you're on CME is 90,565, we will see a very slight, but definitely valuable amount of bullish divergence on the daily RSI right here. There is an incredibly small but higher low on the daily RSI, in which we did see the low of Sunday or Monday at around 37.33 read, and then the low of yesterday would be a 37.66. That is objectively a higher low with a slightly lower low on price action. So is that going to be good enough to get Bitcoin back above Wednesday's high on a very, 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 very minimal amount of bullish divergence? Yeah, it is potential there. Again, above Wednesday's high, that confirms it. And at that point, I'd look for a relatively quick move sideways and up to $95,000 or 94.5, depending upon whether you're on CME or the index. price, just basically back around the top side of this range as defined by the price action pivots indicator. And from there, maybe a little bit of sideways for a few days, but at that point, I'd really be on the, on the lookout for a real break to the upside, in which Bitcoin, at that point, I do think it's probably gonna be low 100s if that happens. So one thing before the next, again, this range has taken a lot of patience. We've been basically living in this range for the past a little bit over a month now. We got in this range on the 16th of November. It is now the 19th of December. So a little over a month now. I still think they're probably waiting into next week anyways for a real break, but you can see how one domino leads to the next, leads to the next, leads to the next. And all of these signals do actually, more or less correlate to each other. It's just we need to wait for, again, that very, 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 very specific thing of trading above Wednesday's high. That is the first domino that sets off all of the remaining dominoes. Until then, I mean, to be fair, it is a downtrend. It is, we do have pressure down, but I am looking at many things from different angles right now that do suggest, this is a pretty damn good area to try a local low. And a swing low, again, doesn't necessarily mean Bitcoin's going to go back to new all-time highs or nothing like that, but it does mean that Bitcoin is likely to rally at least into another swing high, which, probably going to be a lower high, to be honest. But yeah, anyways, that's pretty much it for me. I want to keep this one short and sweet. For Bitcoin, we can go into some of the shit coins for today, but, it's basically just been a continuation of the general analysis that we've been having. Oh, I should probably also point out over here on Rebens Ribbons. I think I called it Rebens Ribbons. It's Rebin Ribbons. We can also see that the midline here, which is a sort of bias adjudicator, if you will, is more or less around Wednesday's high too. So if Bitcoin can close above there on a daily time frame, it's a little bit lower right now. It's at $90,000, almost even. But if Bitcoin can close above there, it's not much of a difference in Wednesday's high. But yeah, if it can close above there, then yes, we do have another move, at least to the top side of the range, the top side of this orange box right here. Until then, as long as you are below there, I guess it is still pressure to the downside, but you're kind of seeing Bitcoin stutter a little bit exactly where you'd want it to if you were expecting that this is going to formulate something resembling a low. So yeah, that's pretty much what I got for right now, but let's now get into some good old super chat requests, of which we got Steven Schickman first. Holy shit, I'm good to see you. It's good to see you, sir. Looking at Ethereum for today. All right, back into the crypto space, I suppose. Let's go check out Ethereum. Ethereum just hanging around $3,000. This one also actually not going to have chance for a regular bullish divergence because we don't have lower lows right here. But yeah, not as obvious as Bitcoin, honestly, on a reversal. I'd still need to see, though, a closure above Wednesday's high. At that point, I think that you're in for a relatively quick move to about 3,250 to 3,300 or so. And if Bitcoin breaks out, this thing will too. And, at that point, you're probably looking at like 38-ish if that were to happen. But again, that's probably just easier to monitor what Bitcoin's doing. And if you see Bitcoin follow through, that's about the same areas that I'd be looking for on Ethereum. As far as Ethereum goes in and of itself, I'm looking for some obvious signals here. The only thing I'm seeing is on the 5-day. It's still based off of the 200 simple. Again, I just don't like getting bearish into regions like this until they actually officially break. So I'm always going to be late to the party on a real break like this. But seeing that it is still coalescing around this major moving average and it is still kind of getting some bounce action from it. Yeah, I do think it is going to try a bounce from here, similar to Bitcoin. We also got the crown oscillator. It's not really firing off a signal just yet. These dots over here are more so a warning signal that, hey, we are starting to lose momentum to the downside. But of course, that's still going to take another few closures before it starts to coalesce into a real signal. But it's potentially forming right there. It would just basically require that Ethereum does not break down below the November low of last month and continues to go sideways at least, I'd imagine for another like 2 periods. And at that point, you're probably looking at that bounce. Looking at the monthly time frame, I don't see anything super unique here. Not great, not terrible. Quarterly time frame, again, not great, not terrible. Would like to see it ideally close above about 3,500. That would make me actually bullish. If you did close above 3,500 by end of year, that would make me bullish for this thing to probably try highs in sometime in Q1 of 2026. But until then, I'm not really getting anything that's super conclusive from this. Maybe the bi-monthly time frame might have something. It does, but it's just not relevant right now. I mean, you got that bearish divergence. You already hit the 21, so that's just doesn't really matter right now. I mean, it's already played out. So good old hindsight analysis. Great at hindsight analysis. I guess we should probably talk about what if it actually does break down below the November lows? Where would I be looking towards from there? Well, at that point, probably looking all the way back down to about 2,200. I mean, it's going to be nasty if that happens. I don't think that's what's happening right here, but if that, if you did lose that low, that's, I guess, what I'd be looking for. Let's see, maybe stochastic momentum has something of interest to be looking at. Looking for something that's obvious here, man. I'm not really getting that much from Ethereum itself. You're going to see momentum turn to the upside at the end of this week if it finishes above 28.84, which is about $100 above right now. So just needs to not fail disastrously before end of weekend, and you'll get that too. Again, I think it's just easier to watch Bitcoin right now if you're interested in cryptos. Yeah, and obviously the price action pivot right here, that's a very, 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 very important one as well. If it can reclaim that, yeah, I do think you would hit about 3,800, maybe even 3,900 if that were to happen, but still a long ways away. So maybe not so worthwhile to talk about at the moment. Other than that, man, I don't really have strong opinions on this particular chart. My strong opinions are with Bitcoin, and Ethereum's just going to follow on top of that. We got Biff the Bull. What's up, Biff the Bull? He's looking at Meta. Let's type it in over here. I'm actually curious to see what it's doing right now. And one day and a weekly. Consolidating in this lower block overall, I think it's good, but I don't think it's necessarily ready to move to the upside as of this current moment. I think that you're basically, let's go over to this chart right here. I think it's going to be easier to look at with an RSI. Basically I'd be looking at the range between last week's high right here and the prior low, and I actually have my LARP lines kind of bringing it back down into a higher low. I still think it probably goes maybe a little bit lower than the current lows. I was anticipating somewhere around like 620. It got down this week to about 638. It's close enough in this case. Overall, I do think whatever sort of downside move you get here is going to be a higher low and does lead towards a rally to the upside. But is it ready from this exact area right now? I'm inclined to say no. But maybe that's just my ego speaking, because I want to be right on that LARP line right there. Overall, if we're just to nail it down to the important shit, yeah, it's a consolidation that's likely going to lead towards new upside. The question is, how far down does it come on this current higher low? Might already be in there, might come back down to like 620 as I was kind of anticipating before. Either which way, these are both higher lows. These are both generally conducive to a very healthy consolidation, and probably just going to make new highs into 2026. Then again, I look at the quarterly, and that is kind of nasty. You still got about 12 days left in the trading year to go, but not the best setup right there. So perhaps we'll revisit this one once we get the new year going. But of course, you didn't really ask about that time frame anyway, so maybe I'm just speaking out of turn here, and you don't really give a fuck about that. Either which way, if you're on the daily and weekly, it's just a consolidation right now, sideways. High of last week versus low of November is the range. I'd be expecting kind of moves on both sides as of right now, and then a resolution in January. I just skipped Crypto Rect. Crypto Rect is looking at Pippin on the 4-hour and the daily. Yes, the daily for a newly minted shitcoin that certainly has tons of price action history. Last we looked at it, I did say this is showing signals of a major top, and I would still say that is the case here. We do see that there is bearish divergence on the daily RSI. And I do think that it will come back down around Tuesday's low or Monday's low, which is about 28 and a half cents. You probably got another bounce there as well, to be fair, if you're on the lower term timeframes. But ultimately, whatever that bounce amounts to, I think will be quote unquote the bounce. And this thing is coming down from there. I think that this thing is most likely found a major high, a major swing high right here. And, there's going to be some ebbs and flows, something like this, comes down there, bounces again. If you get a lower high anywhere below yesterday's high of 45 cents, that would be my signal that, hey, be expecting something like that. It's going to get fucking ugly, which is where most of these shitcoins go anyways, and then we get to flush it down the fucking toilet, baby. Oh yeah.
Monster kill!
I can also assure you that visual of the dumping, very accurate. Very accurate to my own colon. Yeah, if you're on a 4-hour time frame though, I don't know, maybe a short-term bounce here back up to like 38 cents, but yeah, don't really think it matters ultimately. Let's see. Rivera Carr says thoughts on Tesla before the end of year. Is it gay? I don't know. Do we have a gay stock here? Well, you can never be too sure.
Why are you gay?
We must ask the question from the man himself. No, man, this thing is bullish. Now, if the question is like, is it going to break up before end of year? That I don't know. I do think you are in for new highs, whether it be in the next 12 days or whether it's, Q1 of 2026. That I don't know. I'm inclined to say it's probably going to be before end of year, though. This is just a consolidation literally on the highs. I look at that as a good thing. If it does want to pull back short term, 454, 455 is completely fine. This thing is bullish. It's bullish as long as you're above 435. Very, 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 very important right there. Below 435, yeah, I think it might turn, a little bit homosexual as you suggested earlier, which I guess implies downside. But until then, man, it's all higher lows. It's all getting ready for a real push to the upside. Again, I'm looking at very low volatility right here. Crown also is about to turn back onto the upside. Weekly RSI is just getting back to the bullish control. This is conducive to a real breakout overall. So I wouldn't overthink this thing, man. Again, full disclosure, I do hold this, so I am biased, but I hold it because I genuinely think it's going up. I am motivated by making more money with my investing. Thus, I hold assets that generally do what I want them to do or what I think they're most likely to do. Highly probabilistic move. That's the point. Anyways, thoughts on Tesla before end of year. Is it gay? Is it gay? I don't know. Steven Schickman says SoFi stock, daily, weekly. Oh, dear Lord, we're getting some stonks here. Well, let's see what it looks like. Yeah, I mean, at the highs right now, but let's see how it is in the shorter term. I'd give this one the benefit of the doubt. I do like that low that it spiked to on 23.50 a few weeks ago, or actually about a month ago. And I'd treat it bullish as long as you're above there. But in the short term, I think that you're kind of just going sideways with some short term, upside probably fills the gap on this rally, 28.5. Maybe that happens next week, something like this. Ultimately, the bottom side of your range right here, $23.5. As long as you're above there, I'm bullish. But in the short term, you do have a range going on. It's just, I'd be expecting short term, probably does something like this, pops up here, maybe pulls back from there, spends a little bit of time, and then perhaps a real try to the upside. But as long as you're below there and above here, it's just a range. And the bias on a resolution is to the upside. Yeah, it's just give it some time, man. Give it some time. This one has just had a pretty epic run all the way from April of this year to the highs. It's going to spend some time consolidating after basically being completely vertical. So yeah, man, give it a chance. Give it a little bit of time. Let it have some time, but ultimately, yeah, above 23.5, overall good. Overall good. CR250 says, I'm still holding Tesla. Yeah, man. What's up, $2 Chuck? $2 Chuck. Indeed, ma'am. Terry T says, oh dear, what a graphic to see when I'm just about to eat. What are you talking? Are you talking about this? Wait. Hey. There we go. There she is. My Angus! Oh, I'm still dumping. Sorry. With due regard to Lord and Queen Elsa, your yesterday's prediction about market bounce was nothing short of epic, sir. Appreciate it, man. Yeah, again, just following the signals here, just following, what's more probabilistically likely to happen. That's all it is, man. At the end of the day, it looks great when it works out. It looks terrible when it doesn't. It's just probabilities, man. I'm always going to bet on what's more likely to happen based off of past historical signals. That's all that it comes down to. That's how I base my decisions off of. Some people hate it. Some people love it. I don't really understand why the people who hate it stick around this channel, but fair enough. At the end of the day, it's going to be more. It's going to be more correct more often than not, but not always. So yeah, glad that one worked out. And I guess from there, it just goes on to the next signal, man. But thank you for that. David says, hello, sir. What's up, man? INTC, Intel. Yeah, so Intel, again, full disclosure, I do hold this one. I hold it from significantly lower. I bought this before, like all of the Trump stuff and whatnot, which I'm not necessarily certain is like a good thing. I don't know. Government's getting involved in companies, like generally not a good look. I understand why they did it. I just historically this is not ideal. This is not fucking ideal. But anyways, regardless of that, as far as the chart goes, as far as the time frames that you're looking at, monthly, weekly, and daily, I actually need to go higher here first to get a good read on this one. And overall, it is going to break out very, very likely, and we will see this thing get somewhere around $50. I do actually feel very strongly about that. Is it going to happen exactly from here? No, it's consolidating right now, but here's what I'd say. As long as you're above this price action pivot at 32.89, this is a bullish chart. This is a higher low, and it's consolidating around the highs, nearing a realized breakout. And basically, we just need to see this thing trade and hold above about 42.5 on something resembling a higher term time frame closure. And at that point, I'd say your breakout's confirmed, and I'll be looking at this high from December 2023 at $52 to be tested, something like that, man. So in the short term, you're going to get your ebbs and your flows. I don't think it's ready right now. I think you're going to be doing like a lot of this sort of stuff, and then maybe I think this is going to be a 2026 type of thing where it does try for upside somewhere, maybe in January, but not right now. I think this thing's taking a bit of a breather. But here's the thing: when I see a consolidation above all major moving averages, as all of them start to crawl their way back above the 200 simple, it's usually really, really indicative of a long-term major bullish reversal. And I think that's what we have. Here's a quarterly chart. It's been down only since 2021. I think this is probably it. I think that's probably it. So yeah, just be expecting this one to take some time, man. At least that's how I'm looking at it right now. And again, full disclosure, I hold this thing. I do hold this thing again because genuinely, it's not because I love the chart. I bought it when it was down here at about $20. I bought it because I like the company. I like the company, and I was reading a lot of Peter Lynch, and he was very adamant about a strategy and buying shit that you actually use. And Intel, I always use them as my CPU processor for my computers because I've never had an issue with an Intel. I've had plenty of issues with AMD. AMD can be great as well, but I've just had significantly better experience with Intel. Anyways, let's see. We got McLaren. What do you think of looking into space stocks? Since SpaceX is launching stocks like Lunar. And please do a sim show with Jason. Yeah, man. Actually, I mean, we could probably do one. I just don't think that there's a great appetite right now for just content in general, to be honest with you. So I don't know if he's that down. I don't even know if I'm that down either. It does take a lot of time to organize. But I don't know. Let's look at some of these stocks. I don't really know nothing about them, but I can tell you that I do like the way that this chart is setting up right now. This does look. Oh man. Okay. You know what? I appreciate what you have turned me on to here. Let me write some of these down though. Okay, Lunar, AKRX. Oh, that's Kathy Wood's shit. And PL. Let's look through some of these really quickly. This chart I actually kind of like here. I kind of like this one actually. I like the higher lows. Yeah, it's a little bit early on in its lifespan, but what I'd be hoping to see here is this thing just not break below last month's low. And if it doesn't do that, this is going to start to look like an accumulation phase, which would be confirmed with a major, significant, life-changing breakout if it can trade back above January highs of this year. So not bad. The setup is there, and it's kind of doing what you'd want it to do if it's suggesting that it is really accumulation. PL, oh, it's platinum. What the fuck? I thought we were talking about space shit. This one also good as well. Kind of what I'd be looking at. The prior chart is like this segment right here, an accumulation for a long time. This one has already obviously been resolved. Yeah, yesterday and the day before that, I was thinking more so a pullback around the August 2011 highs. It's not going to be happening. It looks like it wants to go higher first. So I guess, it heads up to like 2200, then pulls back. Again, it's just super, super common to see these things pull back around major swing highs. So, if it didn't do it at this high, I'd definitely be expecting it somewhere around this high. It's still going to be very likely bullish long term. It's just, wait for a pullback, wait for a consolidation. This is a monthly chart after all. It's going to take a long time. But, let's say, what the fuck is going on here? Just completely lost the train of thought. What I'm trying to say is that, after it pulls back, after it consolidates for a while, then yeah, probably does launch again higher because this is objectively a good chart long term. Anyways, we got Joey Burden next. It says XRP 4 on daily, 180 target hit, bounce to 240. Okay, so we've been looking at a 180 target for a long time. It looks like, well, has it been hit? Yeah, okay, so it did get hit yesterday or this morning, I guess, at 177. So perfectly right at that line. If it's going to reverse, this has got to be the area to do it from. You got many drives of bullish divergence building up right here. 1, 2, 3, 4. This one, assuming that it does confirm a local low, which all it needs to do is just close above yesterday's high to do that. It will confirm that. Because there are so many drives of bullish divergence, I'd be looking for a quick move. Well, I don't know about quick move, but a general move to the 55 EMA here, which is the top side of your range at 220. From there, does it follow through with that move to $2.50? Yeah, if it can close above this high from Monday, the 8th of December on the price action pivot of about 218. So yeah, one thing before the next, but I do think that this thing is going to rally from here. Generally, I think about 220 is a good bet, and then if it starts to close above there, I think you got that next extension for another like 20-30 cents. So yeah, nice, good to see those targets hit. Man, was driving me crazy, but patience is going to be rewarded in this particular instance. Yeah, I think you got another bounce from here. I genuinely do. Yeah. It might even go higher than $2.50 as well. Wouldn't be asking for too much. I mean, the problem is you got lower highs as long as you're below 320. So, what if it's like this, all the way up here to like 270, for example, and then a big down, because there is some decent reasons to believe that may indeed happen. But yeah, one thing before the next, obviously. Anyways, Callie Miggy says, "Sup, Crown? What's up, man? MSTX. I think you're taking over Stephen Schickman's duties today, 'cause I think he loves this one. Defiance daily target 2x long my strategy ETF. Don't like it. Don't like it at all. First off, I don't even like my strategy in and of itself, but this thing being a 2x, I think that this is just playing with fucking fire. This thing wants to go down, man. This thing wants to go down and down a lot. This just had a fresh monthly breakdown in October. If you correct at any point, it's just going to be a reconnect with the red 5 EMA. Now that is significantly higher, to be fair, which right now is about like what, $13 or so. I don't even think it's going to get there, but at some point you will get a bounce that reconnects with it, whether it be this month, next month, or the month after that. But that's going to very likely be the high of whatever rally that you may be looking at. Overall, this thing is trending and it's in trending motion to the fucking downside. It's going to very likely go down more. I don't think this is a low right here. I definitely don't think this is a low. Any sort of a bounce that you would get from here, if it were to happen in general, is going to be fucking bad. I mean, for fuck's sake, man, this thing wants to go down. Skeletor is laughing in front of your face, and now you're getting flushed. My Angus!
Killing spree.
Many such cases. Simo Haya sounds like is that a Finnish name, Elsa? Simo Haya? Yeah. Costco. Oh, he's Finnish, but he knows of the ultimately best American corporation of all time. We're going to be going there today, baby. Oh man, we're going to Club Costco on a Friday. It's going to be fucking popping. But it wants to go down. Actually, you know what? I have my alert set in over here because I want to buy. It's literally my favorite fucking store. Okay, it's not my favorite store, but it's among my favorite stores for sure. This is a swing high, unfortunately, and it's very likely going to go down a lot more. And I think in the next few quarters, I think maybe even like mid to low sevens. But I will be looking to buy around those regions. Yeah, this is a high for a long time, man. Many drives of bearish divergence here. I think you're coming down to like 750 or 720. That's where I'm looking to buy personally. And yeah, I mean, you're just literally getting a silver cross to the downside freshly right here. So, there's going to be ebbs and flows along the way, obviously, but it sounds like you are a lot more higher term time frame. And so I can just generally say, yeah, this thing it's putting in a major high right here. This actually looks like a yearly swing as well, which is not great, man. Should reconnect at minimum with the red 5 EMA. At some point in 2026. So no guarantees that's even going to be like a swing low. It kind of makes me scared on the yearly here, but I do think you will get very much down to like mid or low sevens. So yeah, but like I said, I'm personally looking to hold that. myself for the long term. They're an amazing fucking company. Like, holy shit. Have you ever been to a Costco? Have you ever been there? Need I say more? It's just, it's amazing. They do an amazing job. Like, everything there is so well done. It's so fucking well done. It's a pleasure to go to. Elsa loves going to Costco, okay? She cannot spend less than 30 minutes in a fucking Costco. All right, we go there. All right, we're just going to get, burger patties today. Okay, that's going to be great. All right, get some fucking meat, no problem. And then like an hour later, I'm already spending like $1,000 because it was actually very much. They have great books too. Like, what the fuck? They have clothes. They have clothes. You can buy Costco clothes, and they're actually good. They're actually good. Like, what the fuck? Anyways, Straight Path says, GM sir, what's up, man? Can we take a look at CLSK on the daily weekly? CLSK. I still think it's this. I still think my LARP lines were drawn out a few weeks ago. I'm still sticking with them, man. It's putting in a high about where I was looking for. I think you're coming down back towards these lows at $9. I don't think it's going to break lower. I think that this thing is going to level out here and go sideways for a while. But again, sideways for a while can be another year before it tries a real upside move. And I do think your next move is to the downside. Yeah. I just don't think it's going to break down. I think, you come down here and then bounce again. So yeah, that's really all that I got to say about this, man. Not really much more to update on this thing. I guess if anything, there's a real threat that it might actually break out to the downside just because it has been in a downtrend for forever, but that would require a closure below about 6.5. Yeah, about 6.5. Price action pivot is at 645 actually. Crown as a kid in a candy store at Costco. I don't know what it is, man, but I love it there. I love it. It's amazing. Every time I go there, I end up spending a shit ton of money, but I'm happy about it for some reason. I'm like genuinely, oh shit, I just spent $500 at Costco. That's an amazing thing. I must have saved money somewhere. I don't even know how you can shop at anywhere else besides Costco during these days. Because if you go to like fucking Albertsons, Safeway, Jewel, all these places, I mean, they're all the same basically. They legitimately cost a lot of money, like a lot of fucking money. How the fuck are people buying groceries there? I mean, I will say I do buy my caffeine fix from there just because it's the only place that really sells it. But for fuck's sake, man, like, what are people doing? Just go to Costco, okay? Go to Costco. Inflation doesn't exist there. Anyways, it does. Okay, obviously I'm joking, but it's just not as bad. Anyways, Pizza's next. He says, can you look at XRP daily, weekly? I think we already got that one, so we're all good there. Just a little bit earlier. Crypto Shark says, if syrup rejects 31 cents, thoughts on 27 cents, entry for bounce. Entry for my bounce. I love playing bounces in a down-only asset. That's a pretty good bounce right here. I think that it actually will pop up to exactly where you're talking about. Maybe a little bit higher, like 32 cents. Generally, when I see that cross between the red and the yellow moving average, I'm going to be looking for the green moving average to be hit, and that's all the way at 32.25 right now. So that'll come down on today's closure, but let's just say 32 cents, something like that. It's also the price action pivot here. So you're basically anticipating a rejection of 31 cents. Would it come down to 27 after that? I mean, in my opinion, if it rejected from there, I don't think it stops at 27 cents. I think it comes back down to like the lows of December, the early December lows. Overall, is this thing reversing into like a real downtrend? Probably yes. I mean, it is a shitcoin at the end of the day, and that's where all shitcoins go. It's their final destination, generally speaking. So, well, I do think that okay, if I run with your assumption that this is going to be rejection, I would say 27 cent target doesn't really make sense to me. It should actually be all the way down to these lows, maybe even lower. The thing is, though, I actually don't think it's going to reject. I actually do think it's going to pop up alongside Bitcoin, alongside Ethereum, alongside most things in the crypto market. Maybe it puts in a high somewhere around like 37, 38, 39 cents. And then it plays out some downside. So if I run with your assumption, yeah, I generally think what you're looking at is correct. I actually just don't think that that's what's going to happen, but that's a personal opinion. If it rejects, it rejects. You know what to do. But right here, you do have a higher low. You're kind of around those same highs, and you got reason to believe that it probably will test those highs. So I would be looking at this thing as likely to put in a reversal or like a short-term breakout here. We can make an implied target from this. Not going to be perfect. It's a little bit lower than what I just quoted as well, but that'd be like 37, 38 cents. So that's kind of where I would personally be looking towards, because I actually do think it will fall through, but that's just my opinion. Anyways, let's see. Fjordor says, hopefully I'm getting that right, man. Hello, sir. What's up, man? ZEC daily, weekly, ready for reversal to all-time high? No. Ready for reversal to the all-time high. I believe you. It does have a higher low in here, and it probably does have some upside from here, as do most of these crypto shit coins. You know, we just looked at Syrup fucking coin, and I think that one has some upside, to be honest with you. I think this one probably does too. It probably does pop back up to like a 5 handle, you know, maybe even 550. But this is the time for a proverbial bull trap, in my opinion. Now, first things first, it needs to actually prove itself on a breakout here. In order to do that, it needs to just close above last Friday's high, which is 475. Above there, I think you got a pretty big move up, maybe another $100. That's where I'd be looking for on a lower high, though. Until then, you got a potential for a reversal here, but it's not confirmed just yet. You know, if you are watching the price action pivots indicator, this is actually a good example of using the trend line extensions as a scalpable position. I mean, you saw it a few times on the downside right here as well, but these are not home run plays. These are just, you know, intra bar, very quick scalp plays. You can see it trading up into this region, backing off a little bit. I think it might back off a little bit more before the day ends. You know, maybe like 425. If that's scalpable for you, it's scalpable for you. But yeah, I know a lot of people have been using the price action pivots indicator this way, and it does provide a lot of edge because it, you know, basically works on time frames. Anyways, my point is that if you do close above that 436 upper boundary, then I would be looking for at least a move to this prior high from last Friday. And at that point, yeah, I think that you will break higher. Is it going to go back to all-time highs? I highly doubt it personally. But I do think that you have a pretty significant rally into a lower high, which then generally resolves to the downside. But yeah, other than that, there is one thing that could make me, it wouldn't, bullish is not the right term, but just not bearish. And that's if it finishes this quarter out above 375, which it's actually well above right now. So if it can do that, it should get one more decent rally to the upside. I don't know about all-time highs, though, but should get another decent rally if that were to happen at least. Anyways, fuck, I completely forgot my water today. Oh my God, how could I have done such things? Anyways, Frederick NY says Wolf on the 1, 4 hour, and 24 hours. Interesting. Very interesting spread of time frames there. Yeah, if you could, it's probably in the bedroom. Terra Wolf on NASDAQ has a name of a crypto, but has a name of a crypto in the chart of a crypto, but it's on traditional markets. I'd give it a chance here, actually, to be honest, if I'm on a weekly, but you're looking at a 1, a 4, and a daily. It's kind of an interesting spread of time frames. 1 hour, I don't know. If anything, I guess I'd be looking for another move down to fill this gap at like 1180, 1185. 4 hour time frame.
Sorry, where is it?
I think it's in the bedroom. 4 hour time frame suggests to me that we are going to put in a low here. So if it does come back down, that should still be a higher low. I don't think it's going to break down. I do think that this one does rally higher overall. At some point, I think it's going to get back up to 1350, 1375, something like that. Daily time frame. Hidden bullish evidence here. Yeah. So, you know, if the lower term timeframes do play at a pullback, I wouldn't be super fussed about that. I'm also not very confident about that as well. What I'm confident about is that this thing will very likely try some upside. I think generally it's going to get back up to like 14 and a half, you know, in the next, I don't know, maybe next few weeks. And then from there, you know, I would treat this thing as bullish as long as you're above the November low. The November low is $10.50. So as long as you're above there, this is objectively a bullish consolidation. If you break below there, then yeah, you got some real problems. But until then, you know, this is actually decent. It's just the long-term history kind of has me skeptical, because since 1995, it's basically been, it hasn't made any gains, hasn't lost any gains. That's not a good sign. Like, that's not a good sign long term. So yeah. Anyways, let's see. We got Inertia next. She or he. Hold on. Is that, I can't tell. I actually can't tell from the avatar. It's too small, and I don't mean that as an insult. Like, it literally, for some reason, it looks like you have very long hair, but then when I zoom in, it doesn't look like you have any hair, which completely changes my analysis. Anyways, you're looking at MicroStrategy daily. Is it ready for a bull trap? Probably, if Bitcoin's going to rally here. If I'm biased towards a Bitcoin rally, then yeah. And I've been saying, you know, this thing's likely to bottom out kind of at that 145 to 155 region. It's gotten down there a couple of times. Yeah, and you got the same sort of signals here as Bitcoin. You got a very slight amount, but yeah, it is present of bullish divergence. So yeah, I generally think you're going to get a bounce here. And, you know, if it bull traps, like 250 is a pretty easy target to be made. I think it might even get up to like 285, 290 on a bull trap. But yeah, I generally think it's gonna rally from this low here. If there's one more stab a little bit lower to 140, that's fine. But ultimately, I do think that you're putting in a swing low here, which then evolves into probably a lower high, and then you got real problems to the downside potentially. But yeah, should try a rally here, and then I guess be open-minded, I suppose. Anyways, Crypto Rect is back, and he's looking at XMR, Monero, on the daily and weekly. Monero's been one of the ones that actually looks like genuinely good that we've seen in the past 2 weeks. And I have to say the same thing today. This is good. This is good. Like, this is actually good. This is the most bullish crypto chart that we've seen. Yeah, just higher low after higher low after higher low. You got a rising pizza, an ascending triangle right here. If you want to be a pattern bro, and I mean, there is validity to that right now. You know, you got your ties right here, you got your rising bottoms right here. So there is an implied target to be made from the break of this, which just requires a closure above today's high, and that does have an implied target towards 540. And then from there, I mean, you basically got all-time highs. So I don't think you're going to stop there. I think you're going to continue onwards and forwards. I think this is a real shot for a real. It got one shot and one opportunity. I think it's probably going to take it, man. I'd just be bullish on this thing as long as you're above last week's low. It's a very, very simple setup right here. We got hidden bullish divergence on the weekly time frame too, forming. Like this is again what a potential breakout setup looks like. So yeah, among the actually the best crypto chart we've seen today, among the best charts that we've seen in general today, because that one is like hinting at a breakout like now kind of. Anyways, John T says, with Santa Rally, what's the range for Zora? Is this a stock or a crypto? Oh, of course it's a crypto. I guess we go to Coinbase for this thing. Look, there's no such thing as a Santa rally for a down only shitcoin asset, man. Unfortunately, this thing, regardless of whether Bitcoin rallies or not, it's just going to go generally down. If you do get a bounce, it'll be very minimal at best, you know, maybe back up to 4.5 cents. Amazing. And then send it back down to the fucking toilet gutter where it actually belongs. That's just how these things go, man. I apologize, but that's what it is. Like, that's where these things are going. That's where most of these things are going. Zora coin. Surprise, surprise. Probably down. Probably down. The only way I'd even moderately change my mind around this, which honestly, it's doing all of the things right now that makes it almost undoubtable that it wants to go lower, is if it could trade and close back above the 200 simple. All of these major movement averages right now are crossing in a bearish position. And you have hidden bearish divergence and volatility's rising on a new low. Like, this is what a breakdown looks like. This is what a breakdown looks like. Crazy. Fucking crazy. Crazy, man. Aiden says NVCR took entry yesterday at 12.5. You're targeting $28 to $35. So, well, it's a very moderate target, sir. Only looking for a 2 or 3x. Thank you, sir. All right. Okay, so you bought a purely downtrending asset. Great job. Amazing. Let's just buy things that are only going down. Fucking phenomenal. And then let's target a 3x move to the upside. Also genius. That's right. Buy at 1 cent, target $1 million. Who would have thought that? Holy shit. We're going to be rich immediately. All you need to do is buy low, sell high. Buy Bitcoin here, set a sell order at $500,309. Okay? It's that fucking simple. It's that fucking simple. You too can be rich if you just buy right now and set a target point for like 3x higher. It's going to happen, right? Right? Like, looking at a chart like this, it's the epitome of this meme. It's,
do you have money?
Do you have money?
Do you want even more money?
Buy this shitcoin or this shitty stock. Shitty stock, shitty walk. Shitty walk. Shitty stock. Shitty stock. Yeah, man, this thing's going down, not up. It would take an act of God to get this thing to reverse. It's lived through many bull markets and has participated in almost none of them, except for 2021. But yeah, pretty bad. Pretty fucking bad, man. Pretty fucking bad, actually. Alex Root 9484 says open daily weekly. Is this this? I think it's this. I don't know when I did a chart on this one last. It must have been a long time ago, but I'm still looking at something like this, man. I think that this thing's rallying into a local high right here. The one saving grace is that all major moving averages are in a bullish posture right here, but I don't know how much I trust it because I think it just might be too new to really get accurate reads on this. But regardless of that, the way to play it, in my opinion, is the same. Both the price action pivots here are extremely relevant. Above this one at $9.5, bullish new highs. Below this guy right here at 520, it's almost undoubtedly going to find its way back down to the lows of this year, 2025, and probably make new lows. I'm more biased towards this one coming down. We're getting a lot of technical signals that do suggest momentum is right now weighing to the downside. But technically speaking, that's the correct way to play it. It's my personal opinion that it will break to the downside just because, well, look at the fucking chart. Other than that, man, I don't really have a strong opinion on it. Just probably going to fail here. But if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Again, you'll know because it does, again, trade above the north side price action pivot at 945.5, actually. Above there, this thing should go on a pretty screaming rally. I would imagine this thing goes up to like fucking $13. So that's a big move. If it does happen. Don't be Shay says, PP, no toilet gift, please. All right, no problem, sir. We have likely a bullish analysis for PP coin. Oh, amazing. PP coin's back down around the lows. It undid the whole rally. This is a surprise. This is a fucking surprise.
Boom, boom,
you fucking boob.
Boom, 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 boom.
Look, we're not going to flush it, but my Angus!
Ludicrous kill.
If there is anything resembling a bounce, I would be looking at whatever this red 5 EMA is doing right here. Ultimately, though, this thing wants to go back down to the 2023 lows and lower over time. Crown IMA 0.01 viewer asshole Lamo.
Killing spree.
I appreciate it, sir. I appreciate it. In that case, you know what? Let's give it the pump. You need to pump it up. Pump that fucking PP up. Just kidding. It's terrible. The conservative cat said, not you though, sir. You're great. You're the 0.01. But this very bad chart. Very bad chart. Unfortunately, that does not change the shitty chart. Shitty chart. Shitty walk. RDW from Mr. Conservative Cat. Let's check it out. RDW. Red Wire Corporation. Don't like it. But I think it has more in this rally here, but I'm not a tremendous fan of this. I mean, we do have a downtrend on the weekly now. I just think that you rally into another lower high, maybe around $10 or so. Something like that. If we're on a monthly, yeah. I think it might tag $10 again, but I think that this thing is generally going to move to the downside overall. It's a weird chart, though. I don't really know what to make of it on the higher term timeframes. The lower term timeframes looks a little more obvious, I suppose. It's usually the other way around, but if it got back up to like 10 and a half, I look at that as pretty good for another lower high. Because this one does, it's a quarterly that really looks like it wants to reverse to the downside and follow through. Not going off a ton, but that's what I'd be saying right now. I might have to say this is one of those instances where I should probably just say I don't know, because I am getting conflicting signals here in some way. But what seems obvious to me is that, yeah, short term probably continues a little bit with a rally, whether it's like $9 or $10, whatever. But be very, very, very defensive if it gets a rejection there, because I think that would be sort of like your proverbial bull trap before the real push to the downside, if you see a rejection around those numbers. So yeah. Nice. Zeki Cecil said, I probably just completely ruined that name. I apologize, man. You're looking at super. We can look at it, man. Again, Elliot's my good friend, but this is not a chart that I would like in terms of just pure charting. But yeah, man, I genuinely think, Elliot, don't hate me for saying this, but just based off the chart, I genuinely think it's probably going to come back down to those 2023 lows. Yeah. I really don't like the way that the monthly is shaping up, nor the quarterly. Like, could I change my mind on this? I guess there's like a little bit of hopium if it were to rally back above about 37 cents before the end of December. But first off, I don't even think that would matter that much. And second off, I'm very unconfident it's going to have like a 50% move anyway. So just follow the trend. I mean, this is a downtrend. This wants to go lower. It wants to go lower. It is what it is, man. Shitty walk. $2 Chuck says MON. All right, there's a new one. I'm guessing it's a stock, or is it a crypto? It might be a crypto. Is it Monad? Monad. Maybe it's this. Wow, incredible. Fucking incredible. Unbelievable. Incredible, sir. Outstanding work.
You have lost the match.
It's looking bad. Let's see. Disney for a long-term hold. Elsa should buy Disney. You know, you could buy Disney. Instead of buying their shitty streaming service, you can buy the actual company. Did you know if you get Disney Plus or whatever the fuck it's called, they run advertisements. Okay? We were watching The Mandalorian last night. My parents haven't seen it, and they're living with us right now. And they like Star Wars, and I like Star Wars too. And we were watching Mandalorian on fucking Disney Plus. There's commercials. Fucking commercials. Can you believe that? Can you believe it? I don't even want to pay up for non-commercials because just out of principle, it's like, fuck you. You can't get more money, but I'm still giving you money. This is actually good here. I actually need to write this one down because this is, this thing is putting in a macro low here over the long term. Yeah, I actually really like this for a macro low. But is it ready to move to the upside right now? I don't think that. You know, you got a range high at about 126. You got rising bottoms coming in around 94, 95. You got 1, 2, 3 higher lows, maybe even 4 right here. I mean, that would be really powerful. Ultimately, it is bullish. Ultimately, the weekly is putting in a higher low at the 200 symbol. I think this is probably going to be your next higher low, actually. I think it moves to the upside from here. Or at least back up to the range highs at 124, 125 to 126 region. If you start to see close above there, this thing should, put in a real breakout towards 150, probably even just, could carry on with the biblical fucking epic rally. This is good. It's very good. It's very nice. Let's see. We got RND stuff, RMDM stuff, random stuff. I see. Ondo 4 hour. Sure, man. Ondo, yes, we have Ondo coin. Amazing. We need more Ondo coins, which are only going down. Amazing. Oh God, did we just find another crypto fucking coin that was a hype coin in 2025 cycle? And what happens after that? Oh, down only? I'm surprised. I'm fucking surprised. We got another one of these things. God damn, man. For fuck's sake. It's bad. It's very bad. If there's anything resembling a bounce to the upside, I would look no further than 60 cents and then down only. This is bad. This is what a bad chart looks like. This is what a developing down only chart looks like. And shit, I ain't even saying this thing's going to rally to 60 cents. I'm just saying if it did, the red button would look very appealing at that point to me. For right now, I mean, you got some bullish divergence here. So yeah, I could very easily rally it back up to like 45 cents. But yeah, this is down only, man. This is literally in the process of doing down only. It's incredible. It's amazing. It should get flushed. You know what? You're right, Burgle. You're right. Flush it. All right, we'll flush it. Probably not. Burgle says, can you do, yeah, ooh, GBP versus the dollar. Oops, my dyslexia has struck in once again. There we go. Let's go to this one. Let's go do a monthly maybe. You're very low term time frames. I was going to look at the monthly. I actually do think this is going to be a higher low here, and it does rally ultimately back up to like 137, 138. But if you're on like a 4-hour daily, that doesn't matter. Although, well, 4 hours bullish and daily is, oh God, this is why I don't like Forex. This is where the daily should put in a lower high and swing back down, but I think it's going to swing back down into a higher low. Monthly is bullish. Quarterly is, oh God, quarterly is not bullish, but it wants upside, but it's not bullish. It's going to be a lower high ultimately. It makes this shit so fucking difficult. This is why I don't like Forex. I don't like fucking Forex. Fuck this. Fuck this request. I'm not doing it. If I had to call it, 4-hour time frame probably does try another short-term rally. I just don't think that short-term rally continues. Yeah. Maybe like 134, 135, and then comes back down for another swing higher low, and then plays out the monthly move back to these highs at 137.5, 138. And then that's probably going to be a double top into a major swing high. But that's well far away. You're not even asked about these timeframes anyway, so who gives a fuck? But just for my own curiosity. Yeah. If I'm looking at the yearly and your pattern, bro, this actually could be a real breakout here, which would be pretty damn impressive. I mean, at that point, kind of got to be looking long term in 2026 to $1.50 at least. I mean, shit, the real technical target's like 167.65. Makes it hard, man. Makes it hard. Hun Win Kiwis. Are you a Kiwi like from New Zealand? A lot of Kiwis in this community. Really, really cool people as well. I've never met a Kiwi that I don't like. Australians, though, sometimes you don't like them. It's the accent, though. It's really the accent. Anyways, I like your Crown Trading Bible. Thank you for that, man. I appreciate that. I love options added to your daily analysis. Hell yeah, man. I'm really enjoying that. I understand most people don't really either understand it or care for it, but that's just where I come from, man. So I always got to go back to it. To see more relevant price range, a mighty 4,000 range long gone would be great to be refreshing even with stocks. Do you mean like just go over stocks? Yeah, I mean we can do that as well. I'm all good with that. I actually, you probably notice I've been drifting a lot more into traditional market territory. Just more interesting things going on there right now, and just a lot more opportunity, honestly. Anyways, Adam Kalanes is looking at BNB, bounce targets weekly, monthly. Okay, so first we are assuming it's going to even bounce, but you know, almost everything does bounce, right? Oh, Full Passion says, discussing soundboard. Stop it. Some of us are eating. No problems. BNB coin, bounce targets. Elsa thinks it's funny. It's not funny, okay? It's not fucking funny. It's not funny. It's not funny. Even our dog is laughing. It's not funny. Like, seriously. We're losers because we got a dog. Well, it's Elsa's dog, so she's a loser. Anyways, BNB bounce targets. I mean, first off, man, like, okay, if Bitcoin's going to bounce, this thing's going to bounce as well. So I am going to assume that your assumption is correct. I don't know if it is or not, okay? But this is just a total what-if scenario. Let's go to a weekly and a monthly. So if it were to bounce, $1,000 is going to be a pretty nice target, somewhere between $1,000 to $1,050. Again, I am assuming I'm taking your assumption as true. I don't know if it's going to be true, but that would be the area I'd be looking for if I was looking for a bounce, which I guess if you trade back above the December high, then yeah, like 1,050, maybe even 1,100 actually. Sorry, I need to adjust those ranges $50 higher. 1,050 to 1,100 if it can reclaim the December high. If. Anyways, all right, cool. What else we got? We got Fyodor. He says, is Bcash ready for the moon? Yeah, dude. Yeah, just buy your Bcash coins. You're about 7 years late, but there's always... Actually, I have to eat my words here. It is bullish. It's bullish, and it shouldn't be. It's not supposed to be, but it but it is, and that has me very much concerned. But 720 highs probably. It's also super easy to get bearish on this thing if it just trades below this week's low. But until it does that, this is objectively bullish. Generally, Bcash takes every fucking opportunity in its whole lifespan where it could succeed to fail. But in this case, I mean, have to respect it because it is that is good right there. So if you do trade below this week's low, I would turn bearish. But until then, this is objectively bullish, and I have to respect that personally. So yeah. Adam Klein says Coinbase range for the weekly and monthly. Again, full disclosure, I do own this as well. I have shaved off a lot of my positions too, but I still do own some. As far as the weekly range goes, pretty simple here. We're looking. Oh, I guess I already got it off. The range low is about 235, and the range high is basically last week's high. Also the 55 EMA. Let me get rid of these. These are too convoluted right there. If we go to the monthly, how does that change? Monthly range is a little bit more nastier to the downside. It's going to be more close to about 195 to 200 bucks. But if I think Bitcoin's going to bounce here, this thing should as well. So basically, we just don't want to see a break below 235. So it's tested it a few times so far, bouncing. I mean, it doesn't look super strong or nothing like that. I'm not going to lie to you there, man. But I'm going off of what Bitcoin's doing. Bitcoin also hugging the range lows. I'm biased towards a bounce here. If Bitcoin bounces, I imagine Coinbase will as well. And if Bitcoin bounces decently into the deep 90s or low 100s, this thing should get up to about like 315, 320, maybe in 330. So yeah. But yeah, when I go to the monthly, it does look bad. It does look bad. So there is good reason to believe that this is a macro reversal here. I mean, the quarterly is kind of what gives it away. And if this thing finishes this quarter, meaning December, below about 267, 268, that has a very strong case. And I personally will be making decisions based upon that. In other words, I will be selling some more. But yeah. Anyways, Random Stuff says Fartcoin just for the laughs. I actually still have this one on my list for some bizarre reason, but I just keep on forgetting to. No, I've deleted it. No, it's still there. Fartcoin, amazing. Flushcoin, it's Flushcoin. Color me surprised. A down only chart on fucking Fartcoin. Beautiful correction to the red 5 EMA in the monthly time frame. I think that's going to be your next high for a very long time, maybe even for forever. If Bitcoin bounces, this thing should just at least not completely die to the downside, but I don't know, maybe it gets back up to the 40-cent high right here, but still, it doesn't really do anything for it. Ultimately, I think that this is legitimately a down-only chart from here. The only upside you're going to get are corrected bounces. So it's just a game of like finding out, okay, where's the next high? Shit, man, this thing was trading close to like 170 not so long ago. Crazy, man, fucking crazy. But the community's strong, guys. The community's strong. That's why it's only down 86% and not 99%, okay? Yeah, strong community. They're buying. Very nice. All right, cool. Aiden's says thoughts on, I missed a couple right there. Brillo says Apple 4 hour and daily, thinking pretty bearish. I don't know. Usually not a good bet to be betting on downside for Apple. Maybe if you're on the lower term time frame, some downside is appropriate. Yeah, I mean, I think you're going to graze the range low again at some point, like 265, 266 region. I just don't think you're really going to break down right now. I generally think you're going to hold these lows. Like, let's just call it 265, 266. Probably another rally from there. When I go to the monthly, yeah, it's a swing high, but long term, it's still bullish. Quarterly, still bullish. These things are still overall good. I think you're just in for like a very short-term correction. What's your range? Basically this high versus this low, 281 versus about 266. As long as you're between there, it is a bullish consolidation. Below 265 on a closing basis, then you got some problems down to the gap at around 254, 255. Means they're relatively small moves compared to the, sheer monstrosity of the number here. But I think around 254, 255, you actually have a pretty damn good bounce scalp at least. But yeah, I guess I do own this thing just because I own SPY, but yeah, I don't own this one outright. Anyways, it has a real world use case. That's good. You mean Fartcoin? Yeah, I mint them every morning. It's amazing. Anyways, Aiden says, thoughts on EVLV, Evolve Technologies. Cool name. Never seen it before, but this also does have the makings of a real macro reversal. So you do have a higher low right here. You already traded above the prior swing high, and you just spiked down into what seems to be the next higher low. I think this is probably gonna be good, man. So my thoughts on it is that I'm bullish on it as long as it holds above the November lows. Does it go straight up from here? I don't know about that. I think it goes a little bit sideways for a while and then tries the breakout, but I would be actually very respectful of this thing because of the fact that it does have that higher low and higher high. So I'm of the opinion that this thing is putting in a higher low right here. Again, invalidation below about $5.50. Until then, I'd be looking for sideways and up. And I think that this thing it could be actually somewhat exciting in 2026. So yeah, definitely worth watching. Random Stuff is looking at AIOZ. Okay. This is like a 2017 shitcoin, I think. Let's see. And it looks exactly like a 2017 shitcoin, except it's from 2021. But still, an amazing chart, an amazing down-only chart. Unbelievable. Yes. Do you have money? Do you want less money? Buy AIOZ. It's great. You can lose money with me right now. Incredible. In-fucking-credible. Not only do they have a white paper, but they also have privacy features, and they just updated their website and got a new logo. These are all fundamentally good reasons to buy this thing. Also, we must ask,
Why are you gay?
and that is the end of my analysis. Godblood says, good entry price for XMR long. I don't fucking know for you. It's like, find me an entry. What time frame are you trading on, sir? Is it a 5-minute or a monthly? Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Just enter right here. Look, man, I can't do your fucking trades for you, man. I don't know your conviction. I don't know your preferences. I don't know who you are. I don't know what those mean to you. I would say I'm generally bullish on this thing as long as you're above the December low. Whether you want to enter in here and have that risk all the way down there, that's up to you. I don't fucking know. Personally, I don't like to have as much risk as that, but that's basically your setup if you're trying to play the breakout on the daily, is you're looking at that low, and as long as you're above that low, it's bullish. So if you enter here, then your real price action stop loss is what, $70. It's kind of big for a 430 number. It's like close to 20%. So personally, I don't think that's great. But some people might take that just because they like trading breakouts and they don't mind that sort of a risk. So I have no idea for you, man. I have no idea. Maybe you're on a 5-minute time frame, in which case I'd say, I don't know, probably got a nice scalp bounce somewhere around like 429. Is that going to go to the moon from there? Probably not. But if you're looking for a few bucks on price action, probably okay. Something like that, man. Hard to say. Crown, please don't sell out. Man, I've been here for nearly 8 years and I've sold out many times already. No. Yeah, man. I guess at this point, like, I don't know. I have enough money where I don't need to do that. I'll take on things as I see fit, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. At this point, I don't even think I can sell out because like no legitimate fucking marketer will want me. I mean, have they seen my streams? Typically they look at my content and they're just like, not this guy. Anyways, Chris Vell is looking at Tau daily weekly. Happy holidays to you too, man. We looked at this for like the last month. I've been pretty bearish on it. I'm curious to see if I'm still going to be bearish on it. Yeah, I'm still bearish on it. The key was back here in November, early November, that rejection, and more importantly, actually the failure to close above that pivot was the key. And then the next week follow through to the downside. This is a down-only chart in preparation. This one is, I can almost assure you, this one is going to be below the October lows if we fast forward 1 year from now. This is very bad. This is very fucking bad. That's the last month. November is confirmed as a swing high. That's the swing high, okay? So at some point, it's going to come down and make a swing low. But it hasn't even started doing that just yet. This is not good. This is not good, man. So yeah. Anyways, Anderson77, what's up, man? It's been a long time. Hope all is well, man. Love you long time in the USA. Fuck yeah, man. It's a party in the USA, and you're looking at Cardano. Holy shit. What the fuck? What the fuck, sir? Why? But why? But why? Now we'll look at it, man. Sometimes it's looked okay. Sometimes it looked terrible. Usually it looks terrible, and it looks terrible yet again. Amazing. Fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. Incredible. Outstanding work, sir. If this is a dead cat bounce, where would you flush it? Basically, where would I look for a short position? Okay, so first off, if this is a dead cat bounce, right now it's just hanging on to the lows. So I'm gonna take this assumption that it's going to have a dead cat bounce. It's going to have a dead cat bounce. In which case, this is not for certain. But if Bitcoin bounces, this thing will as well, right? And if it were to, I'd be looking somewhere around 55, maybe as much as like 60 cents or low 60s. And then if you see a rejection, that would be a good flushing behavior. But for right now, man, I don't think it's honestly the best short, just because this thing does have, a nice base from the 2022 lows, which is lower. I mean, it is decently lower, but I feel like there are better things to short that just have infinite downside. This one, it's going to have more stickiness around this region here. If you look at something like Fartcoin, for example, the downside is infinity. Something like this, you're probably going to see a lot of bouncing and, ebbs and flows around these regions, similar to like Litecoin, similar to Linkcoin, similar to even Doggycoin, even though Doggycoin is bearish, it's like, is it the best short? Not really. It's just, you don't have that infinite downside. I mean, this thing, you could have an infinite downside, but it's going to get stuck somewhere around the 2023 lows. I mean, that is 50% lower than where it's at right now, to be fair. So there's a good trade there, right? But at the same time, it's going to take a lot of patience. Just letting you know, guys, we will need to finish this very soon. But before that, we will get to Retard Quant. I'm just reading the names on YouTube, okay? Don't hate me. Silver mid and long term. Overall, I'm bullish on it, but if you want more close analysis on it, let's go to over here. You said, I did an analysis on each floor going back to the 80s. Seems like 55 to 60 bucks could be the new long-term support level, but I'm also retarded. We're all a little bit retarded here. Ultimately, I do think that this thing is bullish, and it is quite good, and it will make new highs into 2026. At some point, do I think it's going to pull back, maybe to like 60 bucks or 55 bucks? I think that's kind of the pullback area. So I'm literally right on the exact same level as you. We're thinking in the same direction. I just think that this is not a pullback. This is literally continuation as of right now. Making new ultimas at the end of this week. So this is all strong stuff. Do I think it has another week or two of this? Probably yes. And then I'd be looking for a pullback probably early 2026. We are starting to see extremes over here. So I don't think that pullback is going to be like that far out in the future, but probably early 2026. Monthly time frame also getting up there to the extreme. So, I would be looking for a corrected move early 2026. Still going to be a higher low though. So maybe 55, maybe 60, something like this. Overall, I would be thinking in the same direction as you. I think that I agree with you basically. All right, cool. Bitcoin just went below 87. Yeah, it did just go below 87. It's been bouncing here and there, but yeah, I mean, it is kind of weak here. It is something worthwhile to acknowledge that it continues to get rejected on a lower high than the previous day's high. So Wednesday is the big one for me, but even Thursday, that one matters too. And it got rejected, just a few $100 below that high. So this high right here, very specifically, is very important to me to reclaim to initiate the high probability of a very, very nice bounce. But it's a long day left to go. It doesn't need to necessarily reclaim it today, but I would say between today and Monday, we absolutely must see it trade above that high if this bounce is going to occur in the desirable fashion that I think a lot of people want to see. So yeah, been here since bear market in 2018. Fuck yeah, man! I remember Christian M. I recognize all of the OGs, assuming that you've actually commented on this channel or are in some way active in the Discord. But yeah, man. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking with you on this nice little Friday morning. Always a pleasure to see the OGs of this channel. Fucking love them. Fucking love everyone. It's a fun time, honestly, for me, just because during these times, we get the true nerds. We get to look at all sorts of different stuff. I get to speak in a little bit more direct fashion because I need to kind of soften my words and shit like this when dealing with kind of like a more, worldwide community, let's say, a more general community, let's say. So I really do enjoy that. And I just want to say a massive thank you for joining in as always. Take care, much love, and we'll be back on Monday with another live stream. And I think I'll even be able to do and complete a financial video, financial education video tomorrow, Saturday. I'm feeling pretty good about that. So yeah, again, wish you the best. Take care, much love, and see you hopefully